welcome to the Rockledge House. Please join me inside. Welcome. My name is Melissa Keown, and I'm the lead historical interpreter and educator here at Rockledge Ranch Historic Site. And today I want to share with you a little bit of history about the ranch and a delicious holiday cookie recipe to share with you and your family. The kitchen that we're going to cook in today was built in 1875 by the Chambers family. The Chambers, Elsie and Robert, came here to Colorado because Mrs. Chambers had been diagnosed with a respiratory illness. We don't know for sure if that was tuberculosis, but along with a lot of other people who were coming to Colorado at that time, she came out here to Colorado to take part in the prairie cure, as it was called. The sunshine, the elevation, the dry air were all things that doctors thought would be helpful to people with tuberculosis. So the Chambers owned this property here that is Rockledge Ranch today from 1874, when they bought it from the original homesteader, Walter Galloway, and they kept the property until 1900 when they sold it to General Palmer. And that should be obviously a familiar name to people from Colorado Springs, as General Palmer was the founder of Colorado Springs. And here at Rockledge Ranch, he eventually built a home for his sister-in-law, Charlotte Slater. And anytime that you're here in Colorado Springs, please come visit us here at Rockledge Ranch. During the summer months, we're open for visitation and for a living history program. But during the rest of the year, you're welcome to always walk around and just enjoy the beauty that is Rockledge Ranch. The recipe that you have in your packet is a Fanny Farmer recipe from the 1940s. In this house, back in the 1890s, Mrs. Chambers would have used the Boston Cooking School cookbook by Fanny Farmer. Let's get started. So we need a cup of butter, which I actually melted here already over the stove to get started. And a cup of sugar. And we're just going to cream those together. Your recipe says to do all of this in a mixer. I'll be doing it all by hand. I'm going to add 2 eggs. And these eggs are fresh right from our chickens right here at Rockledge Ranch. Cream that all together. All right, now I'm going to add a tablespoon of milk. Back when the Chambers arrived here at Rockledge Ranch, they actually ran a dairy right here at Rockledge Ranch. So they would have had nice fresh milk. Let's put that together. Get that in there. We've also got a half a cup of sour cream. And historically, sour cream is just that. It is sour cream. It would have been the cream taken off, skimmed off the top of the milk. There we go. Put that all together. All right, now we've got all of our wet ingredients mixed together. We're going to start adding our dry ingredients. You won't need to preheat your oven for this particular recipe because it will actually, once we get our dough together, you're going to need to let it get nice and cold so that you can either roll it into balls or you can roll it out and use cookie cutters to make shapes. I've got some that we're gonna put right into the wood stove. So that takes a little bit more preheating than your stove at home does. All right, we're gonna add a half a teaspoon of baking soda and we've got half a teaspoon of vanilla. Half a teaspoon of salt. And 1 teaspoon of baking powder. All right, mix that together. And then we're going to start adding our flour in a half a cup at a time. I can smell that vanilla. It smells so good. All right, there's half a cup. Let's do another half a cup. I think we need another half a cup. Cooking over this, using this fire here in the Rockledge house, is something that you can experience anytime that you come to visit Rockledge Ranch and the homes are open for our interpretive historic program. We call that our Foodways program. And each of the historic areas that we represent here at Rockledge Ranch has a specific way of baking and cooking that is different from the others. So out at the homestead site, you could see our horno, which is a Spanish baking oven, in action, or maybe a little bit of cooking over the hearth out there at the cabin. Here at the Rockledge house, we've got our wood-fired stove, just like Mrs. Chambers would have cooked on. If you visit over at the Orchard house, you'll see a coal oven. And that oven is ran by the cook of that house because Mr. And Mrs. Slater, who lived in that house, had live-in servants who did all of the cooking and baking for them. Wouldn't that be nice? All right, I've got that all mixed up. I'm actually going to take this outside and let it cool outside so that it'll be ready to make those balls. But let me pull over a set that I already have ready. Pardon me. That I had out in the root cellar to stay nice and cold. And what I'm going to do is just like you can take this dough, when it is nice and cold, it will roll into a ball really nice. Or if you prefer, you can roll this out thin on your table and use cookie cutters and cut out shapes instead. Having cookies with shapes is certainly something they had during the Victorian period. almost there. And then I'm gonna actually slip these right into my wood-fired range. I think I can get a couple more on there. When I do these as little balls, I do not need to squish them. I just leave them, don't flatten them out at all. I just leave them as they are. And I'm gonna slide these into the oven. Let's see. They're running away. Alright, that fire is nice and hot. So I'll leave those in there about 10 minutes, just depending on how hot my fire is. I don't have the ability to say exactly how hot that oven is, but I think it should take me about 10 to 12 minutes. All right, I think these are ready. Oh man, do those look good. Nice and golden brown. Take these off of here. Ooh, those are hot. And there we are. Delicious sugar cookies from the Fanny Farmer Cookbook.